Okay, so this is what happened. I had my new camera set up for a video episode of this podcast with my Osmo Pocket 3. And then Paulina and I started talking and we were discussing Europe and we were very much deep into the conversation. And then suddenly I had a beep from the Osmo Pocket 3 and I got up to look at it. And when I looked at the screen, it said, "Device overheated, stopping recording." Okay, that's not good to see when you're in the middle of the episode. I tried pressing the record button again, but again it gave me the same message that device is overheated. So I did the next best thing. I turned it off. And then we carried on just using the microphone because we were very much in the flow of the conversation. I didn't want to break the flow to let the camera cool down or to find a different camera. I have a couple of other different cameras, but that'll be a whole different story to fix in post afterwards. So I thought, okay, let's go back to my roots, which is just do an audio episode. So if in this episode you don't see Paulina or I in on the screen, it's because of that. So I'll do it the old format, which will be to have the audio and use some of the pictures from the trip for the video track. So you can either listen to it or watch it. Here we go. So that's yeah. So languages are an adventure in themselves. But other than that, so Vienna, Bratislava, those are your two kind of favorite, not favorite cities. Where else have you gone that you like in that region in Europe?
I'm a bit further away than Vienna and Bratislava. I love Milan in Italy.
Okay.
It's really because I love fashion,
Yeah.
and for someone who is passionate about fashion, Milan is the city to go to, I would say.
All right. Yeah.
And also the surroundings. Yeah, I've been there 3 times,
Okay.
and I love it. The food, and also now that I'm thinking about it, Budapest,
Yeah.
which is closer to the area of Bratislava and Vienna.
Yeah.
I've been there recently,
Yeah.
and it surprised me so much
Yeah.
because it wasn't the first time I've been to Budapest. I was
Okay.
there when I was a teenager,
Okay.
but you don't have so much money when you're a teenager,
Yeah.
right? You can buy a hot dog and you just
Yes.
you just look around yourself and yeah, just can admire.
When did you go this time? Recently?
About a month ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so very recently.
Yeah.
And I was so pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
because I'm not sure whether you've been, but they've got a beautiful parliament.
I'm laughing because my podcast listeners know about this, that I love Budapest.
Ah, okay.
I've only been once, and that was for like 3 or 4 days. Recently, I forgot which month, it was like August or September. And I absolutely loved it. And
Yeah.
I'm going again. Oh, shoot, I should not tell that on the podcast. But anyway, I'm going again in December
Yeah.
for a long weekend.
Wow, nice.
Because I loved it so much. Any place I've been, I have not gone again because I want to increase my country count. And this one is not going to increase my country count, but because it's got very beautiful Christmas markets. So I'm going to go for that. I've seen that parliament. I've used it on my podcast thumbnails. It's beautiful.
Amazing,
Yeah.
really. I don't know why, but when I was younger, I couldn't really appreciate all of the architecture and the history and the
Yeah.
connection between Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary.
Yeah.
But now that I grew older and I understand also a bit about history,
Yeah.
and I speak just a bit Hungarian because my mom, she speaks Hungarian with her grandmother, with her mom, so my grandmother.
So is your mom Hungarian?
My mom, she has Hungarian background,
Okay.
and my grandma, she's Hungarian.
Okay.
So whenever I'm over at my grandma's place, she talks sometimes Hungarian,
Yeah.
and it's quite funny because I can respond to
Yeah.
some phrases,
Okay.
and I try, but it's still very difficult for me. So I can't write I can't lead a complex conversation in Hungarian,
Yeah.
but I know just the basics.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed my time
Yeah.
when I was there this time, and I was just laughing when I was looking at the parliament because compared to Slovak parliament, it's like the Slovak parliament. I'm not saying that it's a joke how it looks, but compared
Yeah.
to how huge and beautiful
Yes.
the the
It's a
Hungarian
very ornate
parliament
building.
is.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was.
But it takes money. It's all about
Oh
money.
yeah,
Yeah.
and everything looked very clean.
Yes, yeah.
I believe they renovated the parliament recently.
Okay.
I mean,
I've not been
it's
inside, so
still from the outside. I think
yeah.
it still looks the same. It
Yeah.
just looks very fresh and clean,
Okay.
and people actually work inside.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, I just yeah.
Budapest
Imagine.
has so much. Budapest has so much
It
stuff to
does,
see
yeah,
and do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got a beautiful Michelin star restaurant called Babel,
Okay.
and
I've heard about it. Not been there.
it's really, really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
all of the courses they served, different chefs came over to the table and explained how the people, I mean, how we should eat it properly, because sometimes you don't really know what kind of food they bring to
Yeah.
you. And I remember there was one little extract of mushrooms,
Okay.
and it looked like a sauce, so I wanted to just pour it over a meal. But they stopped me because they told me, no, you have to drink it like a soup.
Okay.
And if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have the experience
Yeah.
of tasting the extract of the mushrooms.
Yeah.
And it was literally my favorite thing from the whole dinner.
All right.
So I would definitely recommend then when
Yeah.
someone's in Budapest.
Cool.
The Pavel restaurants.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Budapest is nice. There's lots to do as well. And one of the things that I'm liking is that the Danube River. And
yeah.
it's a funny thing that Danube goes through so many countries in Europe that there's a quiz question as to which country it does not go through. So there are questions like that, yeah. But there are different places on the Danube as well. And the funny thing is that I found out about Danube from an Indian book which was written in West Bengal by a Bengali writer, and it mentioned because the hero of that story he's in Indian Foreign Service, so he goes to different countries, and he talks about Danube in a very fond terms. That it's a beautiful river, and then people are so nice and all that. So now that I see Danube anywhere in any country, so when we were in Slovakia, so we came from the UFO tower, and then we walked on that bridge coming back to the city over the Danube River, and then again in Budapest. Then on Budapest you can take a cruise on there. Have you taken that?
No,
Oh.
unfortunately, because my parents visited, and that's another beauty of those countries located so near to each other.
Yeah.
That my parents they live close to Bratislava
Okay.
in Slovakia, and it took them a bit more than 2 hours because of the traffic jam. But without the traffic jam,
Yeah.
it would normally take a person just about 2 hours to
Yeah.
get from Bratislava to Budapest,
Yeah,
which is
Nice.
amazing, right?
that is
Because you
nice.
can just decide on a weekend, let's
Yeah,
make a trip.
I might decide this time that I want to go because I like trips like that. And this is my friend Roberta and we do quite a few trips like that, especially for Christmas markets. And this is one of the things that she hates about me, that I can be very impulsive about these things. Like when we went to Copenhagen, and she told me about this bridge that goes over Copenhagen, over the sea to Sweden, Malmo. Yeah. So I said, you can go in half an hour's train journey. You can cross that bridge and go into a different country. I want to do that. So I wanted to walk that way. You can't walk that bridge. But I grew up in Delhi, which is a landlocked city, landlocked state. So there's no rivers, no sea around it. There are no other countries around it. And the countries nearby, which would take like several hours to go into the border even. So for me, these like exotic things for me. When we were coming back from Bratislava, we came by bus because Roberta found a bus service which could get us there easily, and so okay, it's a train, we'll take the bus. And this was the first time that somebody checked my passport on a bus. Because you stop to the border, and then the soldier comes in with a gun,
Yes.
and then he checks everybody's passports. So for me, these are very exotic things. So what you're saying, like Budapest, your parents could come to Budapest from Slovakia, that's awesome.
Yes, yes, it is indeed, and that's why we didn't have time for the cruise on
Okay.
Danube River. but it was recommended to us
Yeah.
by multiple local people in Budapest that we should definitely do that. But
It's a nice, cruise. It's a very easy cruise as well. It's like about half an hour, 50 minutes. So they take you one way, which there's in a Catherine Island, a Caroline Island, something like that, Margaret Island. And then they go to other side to the last bridge, and then they come back. And the beauty of that is that they're both sides very beautiful buildings right on the river bank. And another beauty of that is that in the evening, when there's lights on, then those buildings are lit up. So this time I'm going to do the cruise again, but after sundown,
Oh yeah.
to see the Christmas lights on the buildings. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Budapest is really, really nice. So I would say Vienna is number one for me
Okay.
because I just spent a lot of time there, and also because of the friends and people
Yeah.
I met over the time, over the years. It's just, yeah, grew to my heart.
Yeah.
And this is number one reason why I miss Vienna so much. Not just because of the beauty of living
Yeah.
and the comfort, but especially because of the people. And it was very
Yeah.
close to my family in Bratislava and
Yeah.
surroundings as well. And then number two would be probably Budapest, but not for living because the language is quite difficult,
Yeah.
but because of the beauty. But also Prague. I mean,
Prague is nice.
Czech language is very
Yeah.
similar to Slovak language, and I found
Oh,
with
right.
Czech.
Okay.
So for me, Czech is not a very difficult language to navigate, and Prague is also very beautiful.
Nice. Yes. I've been to Prague in the same trip that I went to Budapest. So
Oh,
3 days in Budapest and a couple of days in Prague. So
Yeah.
2 days in Prague.
Yeah.
And Prague, absolutely gorgeous city. Gorgeous city. Yeah. I still prefer Budapest slightly over Prague because Prague is a little bit more commercialized, more touristy than Budapest. Budapest seems still like a hidden gem that people know about it, but still not as many people as, for example, Paris or Prague.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Paris and Prague are kind of similar level, where Budapest is slightly more underrated. And I like that kind of places where it's not very crowded.
I get why.
Yeah, yeah. And it was in Budapest that I started using the e-scooters, and it's so beautiful to be riding that along the Danube River. And they have very wide cycle lanes where you can ride, and there are nice buildings around. And the people, drivers are so nice that even if when you're riding on the road, they don't honk, they don't crowd you.
Yeah.
After I came back, I tried that in Oxford. It's okay, but it's not the
Not the
same.
same, right?
No, because the roads are very bumpy here. The cycle lanes are horrible. Cycle lanes are not the same level of smoothness as the main roads. So, yeah, if the council is listening, do something about them.
Yeah, and I understand. And also in Budapest, it was, I believe, I was very excited to see the most beautiful coffee shop. I think it's Nero Cafe. Have you been there?
Nero Cafe.
No,
Nero
no,
Cafe.
New York.
New York
New
Cafe.
York Cafe.
No.
I think it's the most beautiful coffee shop in the world. Like that was the narrative.
Okay.
That's why we waited a very huge, very long queue to get there. And I
Okay.
was so disappointed. I mean, it was beautiful from the inside and also from the outside.
Yeah.
Really, really nice interior. And when I ordered a coffee and a goulash soup, it was burning hot, the goulash soup.
Okay.
So I burnt my tongue. And it didn't even taste so good. And the coffee, I couldn't even drink it because it tasted like something was off with the coffee.
Okay.
It's just, I
Yeah.
couldn't drink the whole coffee. So I was maybe too excited.
It could be overrated as well. There are some places which are very overrated.
Yeah.
There was one place in Rome, which was supposed to be the best pizza in Rome, or best pizza in Italy, or something like that. And we went there because my friend Surabhi, she likes these places. So she found us from Instagram that this is a nice place. So we went there, and there was a queue outside. And we saw the queue was like very, very long queue. And then we stood there, and then we tried to find as to how long it's going to take. Somebody in the queue asked one of the staff who was patrolling the queue, it's like, how long it's going to take? Oh, about 2 hours.
Oof.
2 hours to wait for a pizza. I'm like,
thank you.
no, thank you. I'm going to go watch some old buildings.
Yeah.
It'll be much more better use of my time. And later on, my friends did do that. they got to go to that place, but it was like half an hour's wait that time. I was not with them at the time. And they said, yeah, the pizza was okay. It was good, but it was like not 2 hours wait level of good. And my friend Roberta, who was not on that trip, she had gone another time to Rome, and she had gone to that one, and then she hates that one. She said that's the worst pizza I've had in my life.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes I just don't know why,
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe because of the attraction that many
Could
people
be.
just. Yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes I think people, like for example, if they're doing a vlog, people can sometimes overhype some things. For example, when I went to Belgium, I think that was this year as well, and I watch lots of vlogs before I go someplace to see like what's nice, what's not, and there's a nose candy. So there's a candy which is like a triangular one. I've got one in the fridge if you want to see. I'll show you
Nose
later.
cake.
Yeah,
Nose.
it's like a pyramid, like the
Oh
top of
yeah.
the pyramid, like that shape. But they call it the nose candy.
Okay.
So and this vlogger, he's like, oh my God, these are like heaven. Heaven is a very strong word to use for a piece of confectionery. So
Yes.
when I went to Belgium, I went to Bruges, and I took a guided tour, and the guide told us that that's the shop where you can have authentic one, where they use Arabic gum, and they do the proper process. It's the best nose candy anywhere in the world. So fine. So I went there, had it. It was nice, but it was just a piece of candy.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I've had it in my fridge for like several months now, and I tried it again, and it tastes better now. But this time, because this time my expectations are lower,
Okay.
I think maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, these expectations also played a role when I visited the Neuro Cafe in Budapest,
Yeah.
because I thought, oh, this must be really the best of the best when
Yeah.
they mentioned on the website and also on the exterior windows that it's number one, the most beautiful coffee shop
Yeah.
in the world. And I also saw it on Instagram on different influencers' accounts that they went to Budapest and visited this beautiful coffee shop. So I was really, really excited to
Yeah.
just explore that and have a nice coffee there. But yeah, again, very high expectations,
Yes.
very low outcome.
So what would you recommend for me in Budapest in terms of cafe or a restaurant? Nice one that you actually liked.
Okay, so the restaurant definitely the Michelin star Babel.
Yeah.
It's more on the expensive side, but I
Okay.
would say it's definitely worth it because
Okay.
the experience was very nice and they had also wine pairing.
Okay.
So that was something I would recommend. For brunch,
Okay.
I would recommend, what was it called? The hotel in the city center next to Kempinski. I think Carlton Ritz. I think that's
Say it again.
Carlton Ritz,
Carlton Ritz. Okay.
the hotel
Yeah.
for brunch.
Okay.
For brunch, they have beautiful and great breakfast, and the brunch is even better during weekend.
All right.
Yeah, so that was definitely nice.
You go to very fancy places. I'm sensing a pattern there.
Well, sometimes we like to treat ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not always,
Yeah.
because I believe some people they like to travel a lot.
Yeah.
So, for example, my sister, she loves to travel and she travels quite frequently. And for me, I don't travel that frequently, but when we travel with my partner once in 2 or 3 months to
Yeah.
a place, we save up a bit of money and then we kind of
Splurge
enjoy
and, yeah.
and
Okay.
allow ourselves to see maybe
Yeah.
a bit more expensive
Okay.
places like the Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah. What
And
else?
It's also an experience for me because it's not very common to go to a Michelin star restaurant on a daily basis.
All right. Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, in my whole life, I was in 2 Michelin star restaurants,
Okay.
so it's not like a very common thing. But it's something worth mentioning because it was
Yeah.
really a very memorable experience.
Yeah.
And also the taste buds. It's a very different experience from when I go to a restaurant where you have very nice food,
Yeah.
but taste and the different intensity and the temperature of the meals,
Yeah.
it's experience in itself.
All right.
When
Yeah.
you have a starter
Yeah.
that has a cold crust
Yeah.
but a warm centerpiece,
Okay.
so it's really like unexpected
Yeah.
experience
There's
with
artistry
the
in there.
eating.
Yes, yes, of
Yeah,
course, yeah.
yeah. So it was very nice. And
Okay.
for coffee shop, I would also recommend there is a hotel called Matilda, I think.
Okay.
Matilda Hotel, and they have a beautiful coffee shop there.
Okay, I've heard the name of the as a hotel. Yeah, I didn't know about the
Yes,
coffee
yes.
shop. Okay.
It's very near to the River Danube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we
Right.
wanted to go there, it was closed, unfortunately.
Okay.
But we could see the interior. They were just cleaning up after the breakfast from the hotel guests, so it was beautiful. But we
Okay.
didn't have the chance to have coffee. But
Okay.
that's something that I would definitely want to visit the next time I will be in
Yeah.
Budapest. Yeah.
Cool. And what about Slovakia or Vienna? Do you have any recommendations there for food?
Oh,
Too many?
for Vienna, too many. For Bratislava, I'm not too sure. Really depends, but I would say that Bratislava developed in the last couple of years and it got much better.
Yeah.
So I can really see that there are a lot of new coffee shop places, a lot of new restaurants that are
Yeah.
very nice. And in terms of coffee shops, I really like Mon Dieu, which is a franchise. I'm not sure whether it's a Slovak franchise. I don't think so.
Mon Dieu sounds French.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure where it exactly comes from. But it's a very nice franchise and it's all over Bratislava.
Okay.
And it's always the safe option for me because I know that they have nice
Cool.
cakes, also vegan options, and nice
Nice.
coffee, and
Yeah.
also hot chocolate,
Yeah.
which is not the runny type, the liquidy chocolate, but the very thick
More
chocolate,
creamy.
like melted
Nice.
chocolate that you can
Nice.
combine with
Yeah.
some fruits and other ingredients.
Nice.
And other than that, I mean, I don't really go to traditional Slovak restaurants
Okay.
because it's quite there's a lot of cheese in it and they use a lot of milk and butter, and I've got milk allergy, so that's the only
Oh.
reason
Okay.
why I don't really fancy
Okay.
these restaurants. But there is the flagship restaurant in the city center
Okay.
in Bratislava, which is very nice. So where I was younger, we would go there, and just trying to think what else.
So give us some recommendation for Vienna. One or two.
La Plahuta, that's a very nice.
What's it called?
La Plahuta.
La Blahuta.
La Plahuta with P.
Okay. Blahuta.
Yeah. So they have also multiple restaurants
Okay.
throughout Vienna, and they have very nice traditional Austrian food.
Okay.
So that would be number one for Austrian food.
Cool.
Other than that, there are very nice bars in hotels, like the Old Bank in the city center.
Okay.
That's a very nice one. Quite fancy one as well.
Okay.
And they have different sorts of cocktails. And in Vienna, I really started enjoy the rooftop bars.
Okay.
And I'm a bit disappointed that in Oxford there aren't as many rooftop bars.
There are one or two, but they're very kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean,
You can
that's
go
also
to,
one of the things I miss
yeah.
about moving to Oxford from Vienna.
You can go to Westgate. There's a rooftop
Yes.
restaurant and all that, but it's not that great. The view is kind of so-so.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
And the Sky Bar was very nice
Okay.
in Vienna. And Hermann Bar, which is also in the city center, near the presidential palais.
Okay.
Just thinking about other places. Café Landmann, it's very nice for coffee.
Cool.
It's very traditional Austrian. You can get the Apfelstrudel, the original one, or Sacher Hotel.
Okay. Zachra.
Sacher, which is the Sacher is a very, I would say, the traditional Austrian cake,
Okay.
consisting of a lot of chocolate, some marmalade in the middle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I believe, in the original recipe there shouldn't be any milk in it, so that's the usual go-to for me if I want to
Okay.
have some Austrian cake. And yeah,
Cool. I just remember that, yeah, one of the reasons I liked Bratislava was because it was very economical. So
Oh, yeah.
we were able to afford a 5-star hotel there. Yeah. So I remember that. I think that might be the only one in the city as well. Probably the only 5-star there at the time. Don't remember that,
Was it
but
the
yeah, it was.
Savoy?
Uh,
I'm not sure myself because I've
I'll have to
been,
check. I'll have to check. But yeah, it was very, very nice.
yeah,
Very
coming
nice
from
stuff.
that
Yeah,
area, I don't
very good.
really
You won't know the
spend my
hotels. Yeah,
hotels
no,
points
you would not.
because I usually go home when I'm in that area.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what a five-star hotel. Maybe the Savoy one is the.
Cool. I think we've had a lot of conversation. We have covered a lot of countries and lots of
Oh yeah,
topics in there. Yes, I enjoyed that.
me
Uh,
too.
Thank you very much for being on the podcast, and I hope that you will come again. We'll talk some more topics.
Thank you very much for having me. Likewise.
Thank you, Paulina.